I stayed calm on purpose, not because I wasn't hurt, not because I didn't care, but because the moment I found out my wife had been sleeping with my friends, I realized something. Anger would only give her power. Tears would only feed the story she wanted people to tell about me. So I smiled, I acted normal. I let her believe she got away with it. And then the truth came out in the last place anyone expected, the ER. It started quietly. That's how betrayal usually starts. Not with a confession, not with a clear sign, just little changes you ignore because you want peace. My wife began going out more. Girls' nights that lasted until 2 a.m., work events on weekends, a new password on her phone. She started dressing up more, but not for me, and my friends suddenly started acting different around me. Too polite, too careful, like they were scared of saying the wrong thing. At first, I blamed myself. I thought I was being paranoid. I told myself I was lucky to have a wife people admired and friends who cared. But the feeling in my gut wouldn't leave me alone. The energy around me felt off, like everyone knew something I didn't. Then one night I saw it by accident. A message popped up on her phone while it was charging beside the couch. She was in the shower. I wasn't snooping. I swear I was. It just lit up, and there it was, my friend's name, one of the guys I'd known for years. The message was short but loud enough to destroy a marriage. Last night was insane. When can I see you again? My hands went cold. I didn't even open the thread at first. I just stared. My mind refused to accept it. Then another message came in. Different friend, same kind of tone. My stomach dropped through the floor. That's when I opened the messages. And in seconds, my whole life fell apart. It wasn't one mistake. It wasn't one drunk night. It was a pattern. It was multiple men, my friends, people who had been in my home, eaten my food, laughed with me, called me bro. And my wife was treating them like options. Jokes, plans, emojis, secret meetups. The kind of casual intimacy that told me they weren't afraid of consequences. I sat there in silence, holding her phone like it weighed 1,000 pounds. I could have confronted her right then. I could have screamed. I could have woken her up, thrown everything in her face, demanded answers. But I didn't, not because I was weak, because I knew exactly what would happen. She'd cry, she'd deny, she'd twist it, she'd make me look crazy. And my friends would pretend they were confused or sorry while still protecting themselves. So I did something colder, something smarter. I smiled when she came out. I kissed her forehead. I acted like I knew nothing, because I wasn't going to let her control the ending of my story. For weeks I played normal. We went to dinners, I laughed at her jokes. I even sat in rooms with those same friends and watched them avoid my eyes. And every time I smiled, they got more comfortable. They thought I was blind, they thought I was weak, they thought I'd never do anything. Then life did it for me. One night my wife came home early and rushed into the bathroom, panicked. Her face was pale, she was sweating. She told me she didn't feel well. 10 minutes later, she was curled over on the floor, shaking, crying, saying something was burning, something was wrong. I didn't ask questions, I didn't lecture her. I grabbed my keys, helped her into the car, and drove her straight to the ER. At the hospital, she kept whispering, "Please don't be mad, please don't leave me." I kept my voice calm and said, "Just focus on getting better." Because I knew she didn't say it directly, but her fear said it for her. She wasn't scared of pain, she was scared of exposure. While she was being examined, a nurse asked questions. Routine questions, symptoms, history. Then the ER doctor came in, serious and direct. He asked if she had been sexually active recently. She said yes. He asked if she had multiple partners. She hesitated. I watched her eyes flick toward me, like she wanted to lie but didn't know if she could. The doctor didn't wait for her answer. He looked at her chart and spoke calmly but firmly. "Your symptoms and the test results strongly suggest an STD. We'll confirm which one, but you need to notify any recent sexual partners immediately." The room went silent. My wife started crying instantly. Not soft crying, ugly crying, the kind where shame takes over. She covered her face and whispered, "Oh my God." I didn't move, I didn't yell, I didn't even blink. I just sat there calm, like I'd been waiting for this moment. The doctor looked at me then, professional but careful. "Are you her only partner?" That question hit like a gunshot. My wife screamed no immediately before I could even speak. She tried to grab my hand, begging, shaking her head like she could undo everything. But it was too late. The truth was out, not through my anger, not through my accusations, through a medical fact she couldn't talk her way out of. And here's the part she didn't expect. I smiled. Not because it was funny, because it was finished. She kept crying, repeating, "I made a mistake, I made a mistake." But the doctor's words made it clear this wasn't one mistake. This was a lifestyle. Later that night, she begged me not to tell anyone. She begged me not to leave. She promised she'd change. She promised therapy, church, anything. She said it meant nothing. She said she loved me. But the truth is, if you can sleep with someone's friends, you don't respect marriage. You respect thrill. And my friends, the ones she slept with, when they got the call from her later, they finally got consequences. Some of them panicked. Some denied. Some tried to act innocent. But the truth doesn't care about your excuses. A doctor's truth doesn't bend to protect your image. I didn't fight them, I didn't confront them. I didn't need revenge. Their fear was enough. Their shame was enough because they weren't laughing anymore. The next morning I packed a bag. Calmly, quietly, my wife watched me like a child watching a parent walk out forever. She kept begging, saying, "Please don't do this." I looked at her one last time and said, "You disappeared from our marriage a long time ago. I'm just finally leaving the house." Then I walked out. I smiled at the end because that's what she deserved to see. Not tears, not a broken man, just calm, because betrayal wants a reaction, it wants chaos. It wants you to beg, and I refused to give her that satisfaction. The ER doctor revealed everything, and it didn't just expose her. It exposed every friend who thought loyalty was optional. And in one night, I learned the hardest lesson of my life. Sometimes the truth doesn't come from confession. Sometimes it comes from consequences.